So, whilst we've got leadership, but where is it that we actually lead? So, what does that look like? Well, top management, as we can see there, organisational resilience. That's what we're after as top management. Doesn't matter what industry we're in, agricultural, clerical, construction, engineering, storage, security, it makes no difference. The main thing that we're looking for is that health and safety policy. The leader must ensure the health and safety policy is in place with its three main parts. Remember, written if 5 or more. Leadership, we must ensure we've got that robust, competent health and safety advice required under the management regulations, Regulation 7. It's really important. That person can be inside the company or outside of the company. And then we have some of the other main elements. We're talking about the risk assessment, consultation, training. If there is a possibility that organisation will be involved in construction duties, then we've got to understand the CDM 2015 regulations, principal designer, principal contractor, client. And then moving on to contractor due diligence. It's really important to undertake due diligence. I often say we're quite often, the weakest part of the management system quite often is our supply chain. Moving into incident investigation. Now, incident, that's meaning an accident as well, but obviously we can think of near miss, we can think of damage only. Incidents, injury, ill health, really, really important. And then you can see health surveillance and the emergency response requirements coming in there. Health surveillance is so important. We should as competent health and safety practitioners understand the difference between health surveillance and medical surveillance. Medical surveillance being a specific type of health surveillance. And that emergency response plan, really, really important. If we think of ISO 45001, we know it's clause 8.2, but if we think of the management regs, regulation 8 makes reference to emergency preparedness and as well. And we should always be looking to undertake some scenario training. Just coming in there, where do we lead? Well, we lead on risk assessment as well. So you've got to think of the risk assessment methodology of the organisation. We can see there equipment, so we might have what people will call a pure risk assessment because we're looking at the machinery specifically. Working at height comes with its own hierarchy of control, as we can see. COSH, stress, 6 management standards for stress, really, really important. Noise and vibration, very specific, again, a requirement, risk assessment. Fire, and so on and so forth, depending on the hazards of the organisation. And I've just put in there, where do we lead? Well, we're looking to lead on the staff, aren't we, of course. We want happy, safe, healthy, engaged and motivated staff. That means we're going to get production. People are going to be happier. People are going to be engaged. If people are unhappy, then they're going to be feeling flat, aren't they? They're going to be less engaged and more than probably less productive. What we're after is that discretionary effort. That is people going above what the minimum requirement is. When everybody's singing on the same song sheet, when everybody's happy, then we can see that that's leadership really working, isn't it? Back over to the risk assessment. As I always say, all roads lead back to the risk assessment. So where do we lead? Well, we make sure that we have a robust risk assessment methodology dependent on the hazards of the organisation. And just coming in from the left-hand side there, where do we lead? Internal audit, ensuring that you have a robust internal audit process. Really, really important. And finally, how do we lead? Well, by making sure there are no misleaders, no bad managers amongst the staff within the organisations. Bullies, credit takers, demotivators, people who don't muck in, somebody who's willing to gossip about other people. That's really, that could be a real issue in some organisations. Self-centred individuals, self-centred managers, unreliable. That's really what we've got to ensure we're doing. So where do we lead? Where the top management lead, you can see right across the board. Okay, onto the management system. What do we want and what we don't want?